What is going on, FA Nation? Jon Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS Playbook Preview Show. It is Tuesday, which means we have ourselves a 12-game DraftKings main slate. And James, if you notice the banner of games here, quite a few rain symbols on the card here. I know we have semi-retired weatherman John from this show, given his spotty track record. But when you have six, quick math, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, when 6 of the 12 games,
he's back. You're back.
When 50% of the games on the slate have the weather symbol, we'll talk a little weather here to get you guys ready. Of course, this is just the preview show. We are recording here on Monday night. We just watched Shohei Ohtani get absolutely jobbed by the first base umpire on the Manny Machado check swing strikeout. So there's plenty of time for that weather to change and maybe forecasts clear out. But we do have 3 games where the rain is real that we're going to have to pay attention to. That is Minnesota, Cincinnati, and then both games in Chicago with the White Sox hosting the Cardinals and the Cubs hosting the Brewers. There is scattered thunderstorms in the Midwest there. The rain in New York, Atlanta, and Tampa Bay. Spotty. New York, not so much, more so in the afternoon. Atlanta and Tampa Bay, it's the summertime in those climates in the southeast, so pop-up showers, thunderstorms are always possible. The Tampa Bay game specifically does have showers in the forecast around 8 or 9 o'clock as of now. Again, a lot of time for those things to change, but those are at least the weather games to pay attention to while you're doing your early research to be mindful of there. Big slate. Not only is it 12 games, it is the Rafael Devers Giants debut. We'll see if he is in the field or not. I would anticipate he's at third base, given their needs with Matt Chapman on the IL, but they could also maybe DH him to get his feet wet right away. But he is on this slate with the Giants here against Slade Ciccone. But the other side of that matchup is where we really want to highlight. Not only is Robbie Ray your top price starting pitcher, but Grande, you have basically pitched every lefty against Cleveland all season long. It doesn't matter the caliber of lefty.
I mean,
you're just like Brandon Walter and Ryan Gusto and name other bad lefty that you've used against Cleveland, and now you have a good lefty.
Yep. Even though Ryan Gusto's a righty, but it's okay.
Oh, you know what I meant. Not Gusto. What's the other?
It's the other lefty.
The other lefty I'm talking about.
Colton Gordon.
That's what it was. Colton Gordon was the one you threw against Cleveland. Now you got Robbie Ray, though. Ray coming off of a tough start in Coors. Let a lot of us down.
Happens.
We're like $9,300. Robbie Ray, smash that button again. And now, Coors sometimes gets the better of you.
Yes.
But this will be a spot, even on a large slate. We often discuss on such a large slate, do you need to spend all the way up? This has been a bingo spot for you all season. I would imagine Robbie Ray is your top overall pitcher on this slate.
Yeah, and even it happens in Coors, right? And we've kind of talked about the Rockies' offense has been better, just flat out has been better. They have been better, serviceable.
Kyle Finnegan learned that tonight. Yeah.
Yes. But this spot against Cleveland, if you just simply avoid Jose Ramirez, or if you just allow the only damage to come from Jose Ramirez, right? Because Jose Ramirez does that. They don't have anything else against lefties, and that's been apparent all year. They strike out a bunch against lefties. They don't make as much contact as they did last year. That team hit everything in play, right? You could not strike out the Guardians last year. That is the complete opposite this year when you trade away your second best offensive player in Josh Naylor and rely on his brother who doesn't hit 200. So I think Robbie Ray pretty definitively is the top dog here.
Easy, right? Just his upside, the matchup. You mentioned Cleveland, 25% strikeout rate, 228 average, 101 ISO, 277 WOBA, all towards the bottom half of the league there. And obviously an elite matchup for Robbie Ray at home. Andrew Abbott, though, is another guy that, like, early on in the year, we were like, oh, you know what? The numbers kind of suggest, oh, wait, he just faced Cleveland. Complete game shutout. So, like, if you wanted more reasons to go lefties versus Cleveland, there's Abbott. Now he draws Minnesota. Thoughts here on Abbott, who has been unbelievable this season?
Yeah, dude. He's a good pitcher. He has proven to be a good pitcher. Obviously, you worry about the home ballpark. He's pitched well at home. He's obviously had more damage done at home, but like still pitching to a really good ERA. I don't really have anything bad to say about him other than you could obviously be concerned about his home ballpark. What's the deal with Buxton? There's an elbow injury. I guess.
Yeah, he got hit by a pitch, right? And then left that game and then was scratched on the Sunday game, right? So
this seems like a good sign for Tuesday, right? Like if you're scratched, then you have an off day. Probably
it depends on what, like, the swelling and we're talking Byron Buxton here, man.
That's fair. That's
more games on the IL than on the field in the last few.
You're right. I should not assume good health for Byron Buxton.
We wish good health for Byron Buxton, but we can't assume good health. Minnesota, 4th highest strikeout rate in baseball versus left-handed pitching, 225 batting average, 130 ISO, 292 WOBA. So, in lockstep there with Cleveland, and actually a higher strikeout rate against lefties. So both pitchers up top here in really good spots. Next tier down, Schwellenbach, Wu, Peterson in your 9K range. Obviously, Peterson and Schwellenbach going up against one another. Both are, really good pitchers. Tough spots, though. I don't know how much you trust or would feel confident in pitching either of those two in these spots here. And then Brian Wu is a pitcher that we consider to be really good. Last couple of starts have been rough. Arizona obviously can do that to teams. Baltimore against righties has been good. $9,500. He gets Boston. Boston up 2-0 right now on Logan Gilbert. Do you avoid this 9K tier? I mean, imagine if we're spending up for Ray and or Abbott, it's very difficult to then also play a 9K pitcher.
Yeah, I mean, they're obviously it's a good tier of pitchers. I just don't know, like, this is your, like, tournament tier. You want to play Schwellenbach because he has a high ceiling, do it. If you want to play Brian Wu because he has a good ceiling, do it. If you want to play David Peterson because he's just coming off a complete game shutout, do it. Like, you can play any of those guys. They're good pitchers. It's just, are they in better spots than like Robbie Ray or Andrew Abbott? I would say no.
Your next tier has Shane Smith here against St. Louis. Again, a game that could have some weather involved. Chris Passett gets Arizona, probably unlikely, even though he has been back to being pretty good to serviceable as a starter. Chad Patrick versus the Cubs, another rain game. Lugo gets Texas. Liberatore gets the White Sox, so that's also kind of a rain spot. So anybody there that you would look to pitch?
I don't love this tier. Probably the two would be the bottom two in Lugo and Liberatore.
Sure.
But even like, we've kind of said this about Liberatore, right? He looks bad. And it was directly running parallel to when he started feeling fatigued.
Yeah.
Doesn't that that screams like, hey guys, maybe we skip a turn in the rotation or something, right? Like if you're guy who has never been a full-time starter at the major league level because you just mess with his innings, right? Bullpen starter. But this year you finally, he might be fatigued. Like he might, and suddenly he's tired and he is not pitching well, right? Like
fastball dropped below 90 miles an hour in that Kansas City start and they pulled him. So,
and then they sent him out 6 days later. And guess what?
Against a team that hammers lefties.
And I get like, maybe the thought here is like, oh, it's the White Sox. Like we can get him to, pitch here. But like, who's to say the White Sox and all their prospects that they've called up and like serviceable bats don't hit him.
This. I mean, it is for season-long numbers a good matchup. Obviously, the White Sox were so bad early on in the year that their numbers still haven't fully recovered. But even if you do the last 30 days, number one strikeout rate in baseball against left-handed pitching, the Chicago White Sox at 31.2%. Okay. Now, their batting average is up to 241, which is, again, middle of the pack. We talked about this. The White Sox offense, not as bad as they were to start the year. Third in ISO against left-handed pitching over the last 30 days. 214.
Third in ISO, huh?
214 team ISO.
Well, Miguel Vargas exists.
Yeah. Versus left-handed pitching over the last 30 days. 318 WOBA is 8th. So the highest strikeout rate and basically a bunch of power against left-handed pitching over the last month. So again, and we've highlighted that, right? Hey, the White Sox aren't as bad as they were. Just, hint, and they
they're bad. They're bad, but at least they're serviceable bad.
Yeah. Dude, 240 average with a 210 ISO. Yeah, they strike out 31% of the time because they're still the White Sox. And Lewis Robert has 4 of those a game, right? So
right.
So Liberatore with the strikeout rate could, not a big strikeout guy, and if the fastball's fatigued, you're gonna have some trouble there. Talking fastballs and strikeouts, we have Will Warren.
Yes.
A guy that you've been high on, faced Kansas City, a team that doesn't strike out, had 4 strikeouts, pulled him, much to your dismay, at 77 pitches in that game against
Kansas City. This was the rain. No, this was the rain delay.
Oh, the rain delay game. You're right.
That was Cade Horton the other day.
Oh, Cade Horton got pulled early. Right. Well, same thing. 5 2/3 rain delay game. Looked great. Gets a matchup now against an Angels team. Right-handed pitching. Last 30 days. 24.7% strikeout rate. That is the second highest in baseball. But another team, 177 ISO. Very powerful offense, as we know. Will Warren at $7,500. We saw Clark Schmidt have a good day. 7 1/3.
7 2/3. 7 2/3
of shutout baseball. Did not have the strikeouts.
No.
Vegas once again correct on that one. Will Warren, though, considered a bit more of a prolific strikeout pitcher.
Yes.
Feels like a good pairing with Robbie Ray on this slate, right?
That's without anything changing overnight, that's your cash pairing, right? That's your chalkiest. You think Will
Warren's a cash game pitcher? Okay.
I think that's the chalkiest duo because of his price. We talk about this all the time. It's not so much that I don't think Will Warren hasn't been inconsistent, because he has. Yeah. It's just that he racks up strikeouts. And at 7,500, you don't often have him and Ben Brown sitting next to each other who strike out, but let's be serious. They obviously have low floors. They also can strike 10 people out, and you'd be
super high. A 30 fantasy win game 2 starts ago for Ben Brown.
Yeah, if I told you Ben Brown, if I had a crystal ball and was Ben Brown struck out 10 people on Tuesday, you'd be like, oh, yeah. You'd be impressed, but you'd be like, yeah, that's within the range of outcome.
Definitely.
And Will Warren's kind of that same. I mean, he has a 10 strikeout game this year, so it's the same thing. You often don't get pitchers, and it's because they're inconsistent. But that's why they're always so highly rostered, because they have so much strikeout.
That's why we play Gavin Williams. I want to say really slate that he's on there. It's maybe today is the day.
Yeah.
And the other thing with Ben Brown is we always quote sort of the peripheral numbers for him. The 5.71 ERA is matched with a 3.39 xFIP and a 3.30 FIP because the strikeouts are almost 11 K per 9. His walks per 9 now is under 3, which is impressive, right? Things are maybe starting to regulate themselves for Ben Brown, but I don't know. This is a rain game potentially in Chicago. Not a spot I'm overly excited to go. Warren would make a lot of sense for sure.
Right?
Would you do Ciccone here? I mean, he's another guy that has some strikeout upside. Very limited win equity, probably with Robbie Ray on the other side. But again, a guy that wasn't he the Naylor trade?
Yeah, it was. It was. It was. I was listening to him against the Yankees, and he was pitching to Bo Naylor, and I think one of the broadcasters was like, "How do you think he feels?" And they're like, "Who?" They're like, "Bo." They're like, "Why?" And they're like, "Well, the guy that's pitching right now is trading for his brother."
Right. brother got kicked out of the team.
Yeah, his brother, yeah.
But he's got a 9.95 K per nine.
It's been good. We noted that from like the first couple starts he made, right? Like he looked super good with the strikeouts. That hasn't really slowed down. It did against the Yankees, and he got lit up to the Angels because the Angels hit home runs. But yeah, he has another can play. He'll be the pivot off the other two.
Yeah, obviously a tougher matchup now that Devers is in that lineup as well.
Yes, that's also true.
Let's talk Walker Buehler here for a second, because I did kind of give you the, they worked with Andrew Bailey and Giolito thought maybe he was tipping pitches, and he's out there right now pitching really well.
Yeah, he struck out the side after
He gave up singles to the 7, 8, 9 hitter and then struck out Crawford, Rodriguez, and Raleigh
it's really sad. Let me tell you how sad that is. It's super sad.
Yeah, not great, but good for Giolito, who again claims that he was maybe tipping some pitches. Buehler sort of felt the same way. Worked with Andrew Bailey after that Yankees start, came back. He wasn't perfect for Tampa Bay, but he pitched well enough. And we've talked about Seattle, right? Like a lot of their guys are starting to kind of like slump a little bit. Yes, there's a lot of power. They have Cal Raleigh here. Would you give Walker Buehler a look at 7K?
Sure. I mean, he doesn't look much different. Like, I don't think he probably doesn't have the ceiling that Warren and Brown do. Sure. I do think that Walker Buehler is the most likely to pitch like the deepest into a game.
Sure.
Between the three. But he doesn't look much different than all three of those pitchers, and even throw Ciccone in there. They're all super like randomly bad pitchers. Like they can be really good or really bad. So
yeah. Because I mean, after that, I mean, there's Festa above him, Littell, Jack Leiter against Kansas City is down to 6,900. We know Font is not great. Not many lefties, I guess, in the Toronto lineup, but I still don't really want to test or consider Brandon Font there. Maybe today JB Sears pitches.
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know. He was listed all day on one day. Creamer, Alexander, Vasquez, Hendricks. I'm not really interested in pitching probably anybody under Buehler. So,
no, I don't think we really need to. The Jack Leiter spot would be interesting if I didn't think Jack Leiter was a bad pitcher, because the Royals' offense has been abysmal.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, non-existent.
You were all over that Minnesota start. You were like, all the numbers suggest that this is not going to go well for him.
I mean, he just has nothing good underlying. Doesn't really pitch deep into games, doesn't throw strikes. Like,
he was getting away with like really good batting average and balls.
Yeah.
That was basically it. Like they had low BABIPs, but everything was hit hard usually. And he wasn't striking anybody out. And
he's still like, the strikeouts are right? Like very just media. Any other pitcher probably in this spot I have interest, because Kansas City has been a putrid offense, but I don't think I can go there.
Can't really go then. Yeah. Obviously, it is a 12-game slate, so there's a billion options for us here. There was about 8 pitchers we didn't like, so there's obviously going to be options for us when it comes to the offensive side of this one. Any quick shouts that you'd look to play?
Raleigh, Rutschman,
Diaz. We'll go right back to Houston versus Sears and hope.
Diaz didn't even play on the did not play on the
Monday slate.
So you go Diaz. Jeffers will hit near the top of the lineup. I don't think we need to go there. Sean Murphy has really good numbers. I don't know if we want to go there, but he has good numbers.
Fermin's 27.
Fermin
26.
Caratini.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll play Teal.
Yeah, lefty, right?
They'll probably play Cuero.
Yeah. Which I'd still go to, obviously, given Liberatore.
Dude, Cuero's been good. He just doesn't homer. He has no homers. Why does he have? He can't hit any home runs.
He's a catcher, so
I know, but that's a lot of at bats to not homer. Dude.
Sure. Anything else?
El Gary's homered in the 2 games he's played.
Salvi versus Leiter feels good too.
Salvi. They are bad, but I would play. So is Jack Leiter. So.
All right. First base position again, obviously a large slate here. Do we go back to the Randy Vasquez lefty and pray today is the day that he gets hit?
We don't have to worry about Shohei pitching.
That's true. $6,500 for Ohtani, super expensive. Freeman there obviously as well. Naylor versus Bassett. This is where the lefties. We'll see if they can get to Chris Bassett or not. $4,900 for him. Yep. Same thing with Ryan O'Hearn, though he's cooling down a bit. $4,800. Soderstrom, Bryce, the whole top group there is all. I mean, Aranda was good again tonight.
Yeah, and lefties have killed Kremer.
Yeah,
killed him. Dude, Tampa in that ballpark looks good. That offense looks good. Josh Lowe, leadoff homer. Brandon Lau, home run. Aranda, multiple hits. Like, our boy Mangum had 4 hits or whatever he had. Like they had it's a good offense.
I mean, we talked about the splits. I mean, Aranda's home splits are crazy. But yeah, you even highlighted on the live show. You're like, yeah, Josh Lowe's been really bad, but he's leading off today, and it's like, well, that ballpark, and then he homers. So
and then he homers.
That's what it is. Yeah, Mangum had 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs tonight. Everybody 1 through 6 had a hit. So. Go right back to the well with Tampa Bay whenever they're at home, especially those lefty bats are all very much in play there.
Mr. P, Vinny P.
Yeah, Pasquantino at the 4K now. One of the few offensive players doing well for them.
Christian Walker will once again, ownership will reign supreme if JP Sears is the pitcher.
Yeah. I mean, Altuve homered tonight, and he was the highest rostered player on the entire slate on Monday. So that's going to probably come back around for us as well there.
Yeah, same thing over and over again. Kurtz.
Yeah. Do you do Kurtz versus Alexander? Is Alexander the opener?
I don't really know. They got screwed by the McCullers stuff.
Right.
Because it was supposed to be Gusto tomorrow, and they had to move Gusto up a day. So I don't know what they're doing, but if you go back, if you want to look at Alexander, he has pitched. If you go click his name, go look at the last outing he made.
Tell me, wasn't that good? 75 pitches though.
Yeah, it was really bad. He obviously just ate the.
Yeah,
I mean, he just took a bullet.
19 runs in that game. Yeah,
dude, he just took a bullet, and they were like, "Dude, sorry. Maybe one day you'll earn it. This will earn you another outing," and it did. But he's also had 2 really bad outings out of the 4. And both times he's been extended, he's been really bad. So,
yeah, he came in relief in that game, too. He wasn't even the starter.
This is not the ballpark to be that bad.
No.
Just throwing it out there. So, yes, Nick Kurtz, 2,800.
I would agree with you. Yeah, Kurtz for sure. Anything else?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Second base. Go right back to Tampa Bay here at $4,400 of Brandon Lau.
Yeah, I mean, homered again. It's just like, dude,
it's gonna hit 40 this year. So
yeah, because he's gonna hit 28 of them in Tampa.
Yeah. So good price too at $4,400. I would even again Jackson Holiday, great $4,200 for him as well. Kim's 41 if he's in the lineup. Altuve again was the highest roster player on the slate and homered the first inning. You'd get him versus Sears, 4K. Played that again.
And he'll once again be the highest roster player of the slate against Sears.
Very likely.
So I will play Matt McLean in this spot.
Okay.
David Festa has been really bad against righties this year.
If they have McLean in a 2-hole again, I would agree with you. Sitting like 9th again or 8th, whatever.
Yes, it has to be in the top of the order. And I mean, it's obviously an elite ballpark to hit into.
Yep.
I mean, they're moving back to Cincinnati here.
Agreed. Let's see here.
My draw 37.
Sure.
Semien 35.
Yeah, Semien's been good again, right?
Yeah. Talk about good. Willie Castro has been a freaking machine for like a month.
Yeah, he's been really good. I worry obviously a little bit about the matchup against Abbott, but this is a home start, so
yeah, it's a good ballpark, like just ballpark
related. LeMayu's been pretty good again if he's in there versus Hendricks at 32.
Brooks Lee.
Luis Urias, so someone that you were looking to see. Yeah, Brooks Lee has been good. Christian Moore hit 9th, but this guy supposedly has like a bunch of power upside. So
he does have power upside. Didn't really, but he's like 60 power tool.
Yeah.
Didn't really show it at the minor league level, but also didn't really play. He was drafted last year.
Mm-hmm. That's probably it at second.
Yeah.
Anything for you? Yeah. Okay.
No.
All right. Third base. Do you play the Devers narrative?
You're asking the wrong person.
Right.
I would play Rafael Devers if I thought he had a good matchup. It's a fine matchup. Yeah, it's fine. It's good.
Sure. Paredes at 43.
Yeah, for sure.
Was back in the lineup.
So yeah, for sure. Yeah, Paredes. I would play Eugenio. I'll probably just never not suggest him again because he just hit so many.
He just hit a lot of home runs. Yeah, Bassett so nails against righties though.
He is very good against righties. That's fair.
Dodgers Muncie gets Vasquez here. Westberg's been good. Barger, there's your lefty homer right there.
True. That's true. That's your one lefty.
Addison Barger was absolutely going to homer in the spot. Absolutely going to homer. $3,600. Matt Shaw's kind of sucked.
Yeah, he's been bad again.
You liked Ramon Urias there, $3,200 for him. Miguel Vargas, third base only.
Ooh.
$3K.
Do like that though. I do like the price for Miguel Vargas, not so much the eligibility, the price specifically.
Sure. CES has some power, we know, obviously. Vargas, we talked about. You mentioned Lee. Yeah, the other Max Muncy at $2,800. The A is Max Muncy. Anything else at third?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Shortstop. Big slate. All the big players are here. Ellie, Lindor, Witt, Nato, Betts, Wilson, Gunnar, Pena. Seager's down to 43, just to speak volumes of where he's at. I don't really have.
Ellie has been so good.
I don't think there's anybody I wouldn't consider playing. So
agreed. But
Ellie has been everything you would have expected him to be. So 4 straight games at homer. He is awesome. But yeah, figure out your stack, figure out the lineup you want. I really can't say a bad thing about any of these.
Gunnar probably hits a home run in that ballpark.
Yeah. Keep getting these like Kevin Durant trade alerts, so I'm just waiting for the trade to actually happen and not just more reports.
Kevin Durant trade alert.
Wants to play for the Spurs. That is what he's telling the Suns. I would like Wemby and Durant next to each other would be an amazing conversation for a different show. Let's see here. Where else do we want to go in the mid-range?
Pena. Gonna be Pena and Gunnar probably would be the two guys that I would I would go of the
Pena was the second highest roster shortstop, right? Until
he rakes lefties. And then the next name you could play Crawford and Correa, 3,800 for Crawford, 3,600 for Correa. That's probably it.
There's not really a lot more unless we get some info on lineups there. And then we have the outfield where, again, large slate, so they're all here.
This is a Judge home run spot. Hendricks has been bad against righties, and Aaron Judge has been bad the last few games. Sure.
I have nothing bad to say about pretty much any player, all the way down to like Trout.
Yeah, I mean you could. I should have not just said Judge. You could make a case that every single one of these
the entire 5K and up crew all have pretty good matchups. Obviously, the Mets have to deal with Schwellenbach. That's the best pitcher of that tier. But Soto is obviously Soto. So
yeah,
he's a talented individual.
Yep.
Mid-range for us. Again, you have the the Athletics outfielders. You have the Yankees outfielders.
Yep.
Against Hendricks and Alexander. Again, if you think Ben Brown struggles, Chourio and Yelich.
Sure.
Both in good spots.
Josh Lowe.
Yeah, go right back to the Tampa Bay guys.
Sedmol. I mean, you could play Baltimore. Littell gives up home runs.
Yep. Grisham's 42. Ozuna's 41. Carter's back. $4,100 for him.
Yep.
He was on fire.
Yep.
Willie Benson's obviously got power in that home ballpark. I know you said righties were good against Festa though. So
yeah, righties were the split.
Lefty spot for him.
Mangum.
Yeah. Roman Anthony homer tonight.
Yep.
So you can always go back there. Maybe a Stanton bomb.
Dude, Big G. Dude, he had 2 hits, 2 for 3 in his debut.
Did you say one of them was like a 110-mile-an-hour line drive?
Yeah, it was a very hard hit ball in the ninth. Yep. Led off the 9th inning that the Yankees didn't end up winning, but he
is that like 7 straight losses for the Yankees or something like that? They're so bad now. I don't know. So Stanton's 4K. A lot of power, obviously, in that bad. Jason Dominguez, $3,700.
He looks so.
It's from the left side, though.
It is from the left side. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Frelick's 38. Can do that if you wanted to. You mentioned if Ramon Laureano was going to be in the lineup on Monday. He wasn't, but he's in it on Tuesday.
Such good numbers against right-handed pitching.
Yeah,
I would love to see him play.
Yep. Jake Myers against Sears. Run that one right back.
Wow, Jerson Profar is almost back.
He is almost back.
July 2nd.
Well, is he almost back? Is it still like 30 games? Or
July 2nd.
Wow. Okay, so closer than you think.
He can begin playing minor league games on Tuesday, tomorrow.
Wow, that's interesting. All right, anything else you play down here?
Jake Myers. Did you mention Jake Myers?
I did mention Jake Myers.
35.
Any other value for you?
Meisner, Caglione, 32. Burleson, 32. Cam Smith, 3K. Shout out. He hits lefties hard. So Cam Smith is legit, 3K. Lane Thomas hit lefties, but I don't know if you want to play him against this lefty specifically. Canzoni, 25. That's probably it.
All right, let's build a lineup.
Let's build the core.
Build the core lineup, even though in the live stream we basically put a lineup together.
No, we imagined if there was one more player in there,
Will Warren.
Bobby Ray.
We'll let you decide. Yeah, Robbie Ray. That's fair. All right. We wanted to just go back to Tampa Bay, didn't we? Like we just wanted to
Houston. Just do Lau, Altuve.
Yeah, Altuve in the outfield, right? So we have the advantage there.
Lau, Altuve, Pena. Lau, Altuve. Aranda.
Myers, maybe? Yeah. Or do you like?
I like both. I mean, I think Pena, they both look equally good. So
Shortstop obviously just has more high-end talent on a large slate.
Yes, for sure.
So we did Warren, Ray, Aranda, Lau, Altuve, Myers, and let you guys figure out the rest of your lineup there. There's obviously some value plays at catcher to help you save some money. We have to deal with some rain potentially on this slate as well. But we'll put the completed example lineup in the Discord, so make sure you check that out. And Grande and I will be back at 5 p.m. Eastern time to get you guys ready for this 12-game main slate. We'll see you then.